5 minutes.
We're 7:41, so okay, 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Let's go for it.
Okay, we got 5 minutes here. Keep me on the clock. Where's Bob at? He'll do it. He'll give me the 4 minute, and then he'll give me the 1 finger left. He's good at that. It's this one, Bob. There you go. I'm Brian DiMaggio. I'm running for commissioner in District 2, and I'm not sure if many of you guys have questions what I'm running for, why I'm running, and who I am. So I ran back in 2010, and I got to tell you what motivated me. I was asleep at the wheel, and I'm sure many of you sometime of your life have been asleep at the wheel. And I'm talking about politically, and some of you guys might identify with this. I've lived in a Republican county since as far as I can remember, back when I was a kid. And I've always felt safe, figuring, you know, I know they're looking out for our best interest. They're looking for smaller government. They're not looking to waste our money, and I've always put my trust in that. And a lot of times didn't even show up in the primary elections. Something happened to me back in 2006, because in 2005 I purchased a piece of property, and I decided I was going to expand my business. I had outgrown the building I was in, and I said, it's time to grow. Okay, this is the American dream, right? Your business is doing good enough, you're ready to expand. Isn't this what Carroll County wants? Don't we want, you know, businesses growing, being healthy? We don't like the ones that are doing bad and closing up, do we? So I was one of those that was expanding, doing better, and I needed a larger building. So I bought my piece of property. I checked with zoning, planning, had it all done. And I had several other people, developers, that said, don't do it. You have no idea what the climate is here in Carroll County. Don't do it. And I was like, there's no way they're going to step on one of their own. Come on. I mean, they love businesses out here. I said, come on, this is a Republican county. It's not like, you know, we're in a city where they choke everybody out. And so I got involved in it, and everything looked fantastic until I went up and put my application in. And then all of a sudden, I find my application denied. And I'm like, that's not possible. I checked with you guys before I even bought the property. So I find that there's a political motivation that happened from a gentleman named Mr. Neil Ridgely. I don't know if you guys know him. He happened to live down on the property, or down near the property that I was purchasing. And he had a friend in the commissioner's office, Ms. Julia Googe. And they worked together, and they were able to, they couldn't do anything to my specific zoning. I found out that's very difficult to do, spot zoning. To do a rezoning on one piece of property. But what they were able to do was change the zoning laws for all properties that were zoned the same as my commercial property. I didn't buy residential property, I bought commercial property. So they changed all the laws for all of them in Carroll County. And I watched Carroll Town Mall get crushed by the same piece of legislation that killed me. And I started to realize something's wrong. Something's wrong. Who are these people? And I didn't even know commissioners had that kind of power. And so all these years thought I was safe, pushing the button next to the R. Really thought these people were true to their word. But that's a pipe dream. I should have never believed in them. You should, and now you couldn't get one past me now. I check out every one of the candidates. I got my own opinion on every one of them. I've generally met everyone that's running in our county and got a pretty good idea of who they are, what they stand for, even down to the school board races. But it takes a rude awakening. Now, I went through an 8-year battle, and finally, in December of this last year, 2013, the new Board of Commissioners voted 4-1 to rezone my property and give me back the zoning rights that had been taken from me.
Who voted what against it?
Well, that was Mr. Shoemaker. And, well, I'll leave a lot unsaid. But anyway, so in 2010, I was in the midst of this mess. I actually had a buyer for the property in 2010, and I was happy that I was going to get out of it. And I said, you know what, I'm going to run for office and make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. Well, I didn't make it in 2010, and I learned a lot about how to run a campaign, so I'm going to give it my best and see if I can make it this time. But I got to tell you, I don't believe it was a loss to run, because I talked with every one of the candidates who were running, and I got a lot of them to be willing to stand up for property rights issues, and I found a lot of common ground with them, and I've been able to join with them. And for the last 2 years, I've served on our Board of Zoning Appeals, and I've had the chance to make a difference there. And I'm not the sole person that makes a difference all the time, but I'm going to tell you, when you bring that voice of reason into the group, it's amazing what effect it has. So, but I've watched that board turn from something I thought was really, really destructive to something I believe is really good. And I would have never thought that possible. Back in 2006, I said, there's no hope. They're all like this. And I got to tell you, my heart's been changed. I found a few that are. So with that said, I'm going to take any questions you guys have. That's a little bit about who I am. Go ahead. Well, actually, Bob, I know you got a question for me. Hold your question. I'm going to let her go. So I know I hate to put you on the back seat, but yeah, he's good. See, I got the finger.
What's your opinion of the Economic Development Committee?
I have an extreme opinion on that. And I own a business, a good business. I have 10 employees, all live in this county. And they have a twisted view. They view businesses as being important because they build our industrial tax base. And I think it's absurd. Because I don't know what extra taxes they think they're getting out of businesses, but the most valuable thing I bring to this county is those 10 jobs. So it's absurd. Their view is ridiculous, and they want to lend money, what, $25,000 to businesses that can't get a loan anywhere else? Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. Why would, I don't know if you guys know that, but the Economic Development Department, their loan process is this: they will not lend to you unless you've been turned down by 2 banks. Now, I don't know who came up with that idea, but that's pretty dumb. That's part of the economic development. Now, if we're going to have businesses that we want in this county, do we want ones that have bad credit or ones with good? Why would we finance ones with bad credit and try to make that? If you don't have good enough credit to get $25,000, you really don't belong running the business.
You're friends with Doug Howard and he gives votes from it.
Well, it's true, and it's just my personal opinion.
It's very hard to get money from the banks today.
It is, but I'll tell you, if you're willing to do an IDOT against your house, they're willing to give it to you. That's how I started my business.
What business do you have?
I own an auto garage. We work on cars and trucks and buses. Go ahead, Bob, you got a question?
Yeah.
Speak up so the camera can hear you.
Where is it?
Where is what?
News.
Where is what news?
What you told me about the incinerator.
Oh, he wants to know. Okay. Bob wants me to share with you today. I got an email. If you don't know, you can get on the county's email list. They send out an email saying the incinerator project is finally done. They bought us out of the contract for $1 million. So instead of the 3, it was $1 million. So that is good news. I don't know that anybody actually took claim for it. It was just a report, and well, I'm sure I don't doubt that he'll take the claim for it, but as far as I could tell in the news release, it didn't have that. But I thought that was good news to share. When I told Bob, he said, get up here, you got to tell everybody. They're going to love to hear that.
And you forgot that quick.
Well, it's true. I did, but I knew you would bring it up.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Well, thank you, and I'll have a better presentation for you next time, a little bit about who I was.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you. There is